So are you ready? Let's go. All right. So you ready to see some pretty flowers? That's good. Yeah. We've got lots of pretty flowers tonight. We've had a really great day here today. I got to be on Wood AM radio this morning and we talked about our pretty euphoria roses. So that's the first thing that I'm going to use tonight. This is my favorite, called Happy Hour. And it's happy hour right now because we're going to have flowers for everybody. So we're going to use some flowers and we're going to put together a little hand bouquet that has a nice little mixtures of pink and red flowers together. We're also going to use a little bit of green in there. We've got a stem of orchids that'll be beautiful in there. Euphoria roses are grown in California. They're one of the few American grown roses that we have still left around. And they're grown hydroponically and with very little pesticides and lots of great colors, boutique colors, especially one like this very brilliant cherry red coloration. So we're going to start off tonight by putting together something that's reds and pinks. And pink is one of those interesting colors for us. We also want to have a little bit of fragrance too. Now the roses smell great too, but we're going to add a couple little hyacinth stems in there too, because that's something that's going to smell just like spring for us. With springtime, we need to have that wonderful, beautiful fragrance. And by adding just a little bit of the green that we've included, this is a product called Trichilium, but now they produce it in a jade coloration. And so by adding a little bit of that in here, it makes the other colors bubble up. We call that kind of an acid green. So it's going to allow those colors to be a little bit prettier. I always like to start off my presentations with a little hand bouquet. So we're going to tie this off with some pretty ribbon, and I'm going to use one more length of it, and we're just going to gather that wired ribbon together. I love this ribbon. It's got a little bit of purple in it, has a little bit of white too. We're just going to tie that right into our knot so that we've got a pretty little bow on there. And then we'll snip off these stems. And just trim them up all even so that we have a little bit of happy hour. Now that happy hour can be a time for cocktails. Happy hour is a time for fun. Happy hour is a time to enjoy beautiful flowers. Happy hour is a great time for us to think about friends. Now, I see somebody out here who has been dedicated and has come to so many of my shows. So I want you to come up and get these. Plus, you have on purple and red, so it's perfect. This is just perfect for you. So come get those. You, right there. Your smile has been so wonderful the last couple days. That's wonderful. So these are for you. Now, that's the best part of my job, is getting to see your pretty smile. So thank you. It's the best part about what I get to do, because when we turn people's feelings into flowers, whether or not we're purchasing flowers, we're taking them home to enjoy ourselves, whether they're giving them to someone else as a gift, whatever it may be that we do with them, it's an attitude adjustment. My dad always talked about attitude adjustments. He would say, you know, you need an attitude adjustment. Flowers are perfect for that because they help us learn new things. So, I've got a wonderful little project I wanted to share with you tonight that's going to be a little bit unexpected, and I'm going to maybe be it might be a little shocking at first, but I want you to just understand this was a little basket that I found at a garage sale, okay? It was an easy little basket. It cost me 25 cents, so I have to explain to you that first, all right? Now I've got a little piece of foam inside here, but I want to do something different than I normally would do, rather than have flowers that maybe just spill out the side and see the handle. So we're going to do something I call a changed proportion. Now, I was happy. This basket had a little liner that went with it. So first of all, I'm going to take the liner and I'm going to cut a portion of that liner away. So it's open on one end so that I can get to the my Artesia floral foam. Now Artesia, the floral spa, we're going to use that, but then I'm going to do something a little bit different with my basket. So I've got my nippers. This is for one of those great baskets too that you might have in the garage, or you might have left over that maybe has one side that's not so good. And that's why I went digging for this little basket. So in this basket, I've cut a hole. All right, pretty simple. And now I can see my foam inside there. So what we're going to do is we're going to create what we call a reverse proportion or a changed proportion. The first element of this is going to be some stems. Now I had some discarded stems from a project that I just did, and I kept those stems, and I keep them in water so that they'll remain nice and hard. And I'm going to take those stems and I'm going to put them in an opposite direction. So I'm taking the part that was the top and placing it down into the foam. And we're going to place those stems in there as if we had gathered some flowers together and picked them up in the garden. So our stems are coming out this side. Now we can go back to add some of our flowers. Now I've got some beautiful sunflowers. And so we're going to take those sunflowers and we're going to move this up to the edge of our table. So we can start to send those flowers down at a reverse proportion. Now we know about the elements and principles of design and how we might think about a container, and we've heard, especially Garden Club. I was able to go up to the Garden Club show today and see all the beautiful things that they had created. We talk about elements and principles of design, and we know when we think about proportion, we might normally make a bouquet that's 1.5 to 2 times taller than the container itself. In this case, because I'm changing the proportion or doing reverse proportion, I'm going to change that and go down instead of up. So, with that, we're starting to see those pretty flowers. And because I can go through that side of the basket, I can extend one of my sunflowers all the way down there. Now the foam that I'm using comes pre-caged, and so we're able to have a little bit more support in that caged foam as well. So we call it a superior cage because it's a little bit bigger. And I think the arrangement that we're going to make is a little bit superior too. So we're adding some solid hago. And solid hago is a hybridized form of goldenrod. And we're able to add this, and we're following again our design principles. So we're going back and we're mirroring the line that we had earlier. We're adding a few pieces there. And then we're also going to take our sunflower stems and we can add those back here along with our other stems. Because I don't like to throw very much away. If I can use up some of the extra pieces I have and use them as a part of a fun flower design, that's a good thing for me too. So I don't have to waste as many things. Now I've got a little bit of that jade. Oh, and I've got one more sunflower here. We can't let him be forgotten. He's got to hang out in here too. We'll put his stem back here. And we're going to add a little bit of that jade trachelium. And then I'm going to add a little bit of Hypericum. Now, Hypericum is a flower that hasn't been around for a long period of time, but it's become very popular because of its texture and its color. And they look like little berries on the end. Actually, what this product is St. John's wort, okay? So a little bit depressed, we can have a little bit of a bite of our little Hypericum. That'd be good too. We want to make sure that it's happy, but it comes in 27 different colors now. There's Hypericum that has little teeny tiny berries that almost look like pearls. We call that opal. It used to be called coffee berry because it only came in a brown coloration. It also has a great fragrance too because it is part of the herb family. You'll also notice that I'm going around that one sunflower that I have right here. I'm going to pull back that leaf so that I'm exposing that sunflower just a little bit more. And then I'm going to come up underneath there and add a little more of the Hypericum off to the side. And a little more back here. Now the great part about being able to use the stems, these also have a fun woody stem. And because we also know that all the different flowers down there are different, they would have different types of stems. So I want to use all different types of stems back here to help make this just a little bit more interesting. Now yellow. How many people here like yellow as their favorite color? It's wonderful. You're the sunshine in our lives. Yeah, we each have our own little color horoscope, and that's kind of fun. My dad loves yellow. And the thing about yellow people is they would never ask anybody to do anything that they wouldn't do themselves. And they're extremely cheerful, too. My dad, gets up every single morning and he says, "Good morning, Lord." It's kind of different from me. I get up every morning and I say, "Good Lord, morning." Yellow has a higher vibration than any other color, which means that that's how the color registers in our minds and in our eyes. They also say that if you have a little trouble sleeping at night, you don't want to paint your bedroom yellow because the color itself will even actually keep your spirit awake when your eyes are shut. So we're going to add a few orange roses inside here to make an analogous color scheme. Now, that's two colors that are next to one another on the color wheel. And that analogous color scheme is friendly. So maybe when we give flowers to a friend or something, we might want to use an analogous color scheme because it seems a little bit more friendly and can cause people to be a little bit more friendly, going over to your neighbors and talking over the fence for a little while. So this rose is called Milva. It's a Triple Crown Award winner from the people at Euphoria. And I've got a Gerber daisy in here that's orange. And I also want to add a couple other little Gerber daisies that are little tiny miniatures that have a shaggy edge. And those are beautiful because they add just a little bit more texture and kind of give that appearance of going out into our garden and picking some wild flowers. Just a couple that are different and unusual. And now we're going to add a little bit of ribbon. And that's my favorite part. I've got some orange and yellow ribbon here. We're just going to cut off a few lengths of this pretty ribbon, and I've got another one that's narrow. So I'm going to use the narrow one too. And then I'm going to take a chopstick, all right? And I have a chopstick, and I'm going to use that chopstick just to push that ribbon down into my Artesia foam, my floral spa down inside there, because that disperses the water to my flowers. It's like letting them have a little spa treatment. We're adding this ribbon right over where the stems go into the floral foam. And we've got one more that we'll add through there. And now we've got a great little reverse proportion basket. That's awfully pretty. Now let's see. I usually look and see, is that your husband that's with you there? You? Is that your husband? It is. It's always really nice when husbands give their wives flowers. So I'm going to give this to you to give to her. All right, okay. So you get to come up here and get this, and then give that to her later, and she's gonna like having flowers in the house, and we're increasing the wonderful habit that you're gonna start doing now all the time for her, right? Yeah, that's good. You're very welcome. It's the best part about my job. See, look how happy she is now. She's gonna make sure. Now the next one we have a sphere, again of the Artesia, and what I've done is I've filled it in with a special miniature carnation. This miniature carnation is made by the Florigene company, and it's genetically enhanced to be the exact color of your blazer back there, all right? So they took the gene out of a violet, and they placed it in this carnation to give it this color, because this is not a natural color for carnations. So what we've done is we've added a little bit of the jade to go along with our nice little container here. It's kind of a corrugated metal container. And I want to add a little bit of lily grass, because lily grass kind of acts as an umbrella. Many times what I'll do is I'll gather up my lily grass like this, and I'll take a piece of decorative wire and wrap around it. Then I can take a very sharp nippers and clip the end so that it's nice and sharp. So I can make that placement right into my foam all in one piece. Now I also can take a couple more pieces, we'll do it one more time, and wrap that decorative wire around the outside and trim off a piece so that it's nice and sharp, and that can go off to one side. Then I'm going to use a couple more pieces and get them all down here to one end. Wrap my wire together, cut off my wire, and I'm going to go back to the other end and wrap my wire around this side. Now, I'm going to have to be a little bit more extensive with my wire there, and that's going to help me formulate a nice point that I can place into the foam. So I'm going to add it on one side over here, and I'm going to eventually loop it around over here. But right now I'm going to let it hang because I want to make one more placement in there. And I wanted to show you this wonderful orchid. It's from a friend of mine whose name is Amy. This is one of Amy's orchids. And this would be an orchid stem that you could get from a professional florist. And it's called a Vanda Blue orchid. It takes about 6 months to mature. You saw the beautiful orchids out there today, and they were just incredible. This Vanda Blue orchid will last for about 2 weeks. And it was cut in Thailand about 72 hours ago and flown over here just to be with us on this nice snowy day in West Michigan. All right. And we're going to place that right in the middle. And then we're going to bring our other end around and encircle that just a little bit. Placing a couple of our mini carnations there. And then I think we're going to add just a little bit of that red ribbon with the purple in it again, because this time it's going to look completely different because we have the purple orchids and the green stems. Using our chopstick again, we're just going to add this right at the top and push it down into the foam, kind of gathering it up like a little bow. Now, that's kind of a fun little contemporary arrangement for us, okay? Now, when you came in today, I thought, that's a nice contemporary young girl. She will like something like that, can appreciate this pretty little tray. So this one's for you. Now, you know what? First of all, I forgot to do something. I have been remiss. I forgot to miss this with my crowning glory, okay? This is an anti-transpirant. We're going to coat everybody with it so that they're going to last longer. What it does is it seals our flowers, actually, and prevents them from evaporating water off their face. So they're going to last longer for us. So there you go. That's for you. Now, my friend Amy always sends me beautiful things. This is a triple jade lei that's made out of dendrobium orchids. And this is my favorite color, so she always sends me one of these that I can have. But you know, and that's lovely, and I like it, and it's wonderful, but I can't keep this. I have to give this to somebody else. I think we're gonna have to give it to you. So that's perfect. Now, so it just like as if we're in Hawaii. Okay. There we go. Okay. That's for you. You're welcome. Now, with that little lei tonight, what you're gonna wanna do is take it home. When it looks a little bit dry, place it in cold water, in about this much water in your sink. And then place it in a plastic bag in the refrigerator while you're sleeping. In the morning, get it back out, put it back on again, and you can wear it to church tomorrow. You can do whatever you want to do. So it's perfect. All right. So, do you like my roses tonight? I thought my roses were very fun, and so I wanted to do maybe just a little bit of an Americana salute, because I think it's very important for us to know about the beautiful flowers that we have available to us in America. The Euphorbia roses are grown in California, and as I told you, there are few of the American growers left. But what they do is they make sure that they have some of the most beautiful, incredible roses on the face of the planet. I call them the prettiest roses on the planet. So I wanted to give you a little tour. We've got a little bit of a red, white, and blue motif going on here tonight, but our top one is called Polar Star. It's a huge white rose that has a fragrance. So any of you that might be thinking about getting married someday, maybe, all right? Pretty white roses that have a beautiful fragrance. This one is called Pop Off. And it has incredible reverse texture on it. And beautiful, it's a little bit rosy on the inside and a little bit white on the outside. Bicolor roses were very, very popular for many years. So trying to breed these with beautiful foliage like this, that was a hard thing to do. Now we have bicolor roses available. And finally, this little star down at the bottom is a brand new rose called Ranuncula. It's called that because, number one, the flower itself is shaped like a ranuncula, and it has a beautiful red and white stripe that goes along with it. So we put those two baskets together tonight, but the great part about that is I'm going to be able to give two of these baskets away. So this first one is going to go to you for being so nice and talking to me earlier. I appreciate that. So this is for you. So come up and get this one. Absolutely, absolutely. See, the best part about my job. Yeah. And let's see, we've got the star Polar Star. And I think because your pretty little red outfit is so sparkly, you get to be the star. And you know what? I'm going to let this, it's a big basket. So we're going to give it to you. You can come up and you can pick it up a little bit later from us. And so because you want to enjoy the entire show. So I want to thank you guys for coming. Did you have fun with flowers tonight? That's the best part. And it's so important for us to remember how easy that is for us to do. It can be a single tulip. It could be a daisy. It could be a bunch of roses that we send to a friend. It can be a way for us to say happy birthday or happy anniversary. That's the important power that comes along with flowers. What I want to encourage you is to keep having fun with flowers all the time. That's the best part because they enrich our lives, they make people happier, and they're an easy thing for us to do inside our homes that help us make the world a little bit more of a wonderful place. So, until I see you next time, well, don't miss my next show. All right? And between now and then, you can keep having fun with flowers. And you can come back here tomorrow at 1 o'clock and see me one more time where we'll do it all again. All right? Thanks for coming tonight. I appreciate it.